of it. I honestly just feel like we're in a natural progression of just mixing the pot. Like I feel like we're leaving the era of those two the black couple and the white couple and like the TV show where it's like the black couple and the Latin couple and it's like it's a natural mix that's gonna happen, and if you could vibe with someone that you vibe with, I think that ultimately matters the most. So I think that it will for I think it is I think black and brown love will forever be a reality. I just feel like that reality is not going to be what it looks like from where it was in the past. I feel like it will forever keep shifting and changing, but there will forever be a possibility where you can. But it's just going to look a lot different because the black and brown might be together. Like you might get Latin guy, black girl, Asian dude. I don't like. I just feel like we just keep stirring and it's gonna keep shifting and it's gonna keep changing. But I think it will forever be a chance. You can find that black man, Daysha. He's out there somewhere. Like that's. I mean, but if you don't find him, whatever. Fuck it.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I don't care. Like I said, my biggest priority, and like you have said, I want someone that I vibe with more than anything else. I'm just sick of the societal pressure. I'm sick of the I's. I'm sick of the O. Like, you know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm sick of. So, because I think I'm readily accepted the fact that I don't even know who I could end up with, and I'm okay with that. But I'm gonna need y'all to stop with the bullshit and just let me live. But I also think that, you know, like you said, I do think that of the millennial generation and further, like I think that we're just going to be a bunch of mixed relationships. Again, I hope that people can just take the time to be aware of the fact that you are not dating outside of your race to spite or because of indoctrinated racist systems, and that you are dating purely because you care about that person, and that we're not dating just because we think that in 2050 when we all look tan that's going to eradicate racism and our differences, because we will find another thing to fight about.
Yeah,
so
they're lighter tan, they're darker tan. That's what it's going to be. Yeah.
So it's like I really do hope that like as we continue to mix the pot or whatever, that like this isn't the thing that's going to lead us to world peace, because it's not. And like we need to be cognizant of that and real about that. You know, like I identify as an optorealist. You know, I'm very real. Or I'm very optimistic, but at the same time, like I like to be real about the things I'm optimistic about, and I just think that it's trash to think that once we're all tan that we're not gonna have issues. It's just not gonna happen.
I can't wait for 1,000 years when we're all tan. Like you're gonna be dead. You're gonna be long.
Yeah,
gone.
and it's like to live in this system still where like we are fighting issues like police brutality and stuff like that, and you want to wait that waiting 1,000 years for us to be tan seems more optimal than literally learning how to accept somebody's differences. Is crazy.
You know what's crazy? And I'm like digging into myself right now. It's gonna make me look real bad, but this is a perfect example of what we're talking about. Is that like since I did grow up in the Midwest, and I told you there was a bunch of Latinos and like blacks, and like but the one people that weren't around were Asians. Like the only people that were Asian worked at the Chinese restaurants. And it's interesting to see that dynamic, because once I went, like it was always the going joke since I was younger that I wanted to like marry a girl from China, because like I love Chinese food and watch kung fu movies and stuff. Like I don't know, that was the going joke of my family. Like we had like Asian family members in Denver too. It's like, oh, Eli's cute, he was gonna date an Asian girl. So that was kind of like, oh yeah, I always want to date an Asian girl. Like I was in high school, it was like no Asian girls around, it's sex. And then I brought that idea to college, and college was like way diverse, tons of people, yada yada yada. And then I had that mindset, and then I started like doing like that multicultural affairs club. I started like getting to know other people. But the thing is, like I was like learning. I would do workshops. It was all about just like natural diversity, activism, social issues, like kind of getting deep into those conversations. So I got to know the advisors of that group, and it really kind of opened up of like, oh, this is shitty. Like you are particularly prowling for a specific identity. Like I'm particularly looking for Asian women to have sex with, to put it on my belt that I had sex with an Asian woman. And I remember I finally met a girl. She was dope. We vibed. Ended up hooking up with her. And I remember thinking about back when I was in high school, or like that idea of like, oh, it's such a gross idea. But the funny thing now is that I go back home, and you always have those friends back home that you just outgrew. But I remember just being at Applebee's, which how you know I'm from the Midwest, But like everyone was talking shit about this like Asian family walking up, and I was like, what the fuck are you guys saying these like most ignorant fucking jokes? And then a buddy of mine from there came to visit me, and we went to Koreatown, which is full of Korean people, and he was completely uncomfortable. So it's like, it's a lot of thing to dissect, and I know we're later into the episode, but it's just like, it's just interesting to see, like, based off who you're around, who the lack thereof you're around. It's not always like a racist thing, it's almost like that's how you build that fetish. And it's not until you educate yourself and really take a look at yourself and realize how gross of an idea that is until you can start really seeing people as people. But that was just an idea that I totally forgot about that. But I don't know. I think that just hits on a lot of different things.
No, and I think that's an important point, is that, like, just don't be afraid to look in the mirror, because you might see some ugly shit. But, like, at the same time, like, the only way that you'll be able to make it any better is through acknowledgement. And so acknowledgement and a commitment to want to do better. And that's all you can really do in life. And I know that that's all I can really do, is that, like, and the minute anyone tells me anything about myself, I will think about it, think about how I would perceive it, and then, you know, acknowledge it and do better. Like, and I don't think that that's asking for a lot. And I do think, again, we can get ego triggered depending on the way in which the person brings it up. And I think that that's what makes it hard. But I would encourage you to think above your ego. Now that I'm saying this and you are listening to it and you know, like, and it's hard. I'm not going to say it's not hard. It's truly hard. But I think that if we are committed to moving towards a better place in the world, like, we have to live above our ego.
And as the Latin listeners listening, you know, give less shit to the women. I know we want to keep the Z's. You know, the Gonzalez is going to turn to Smith. You know, the Hernandez is going to turn to, you know, Yees. You know, I mean, there's a very much pride in those last names, but ultimately you want those people to be happy. So that's all I can say. At least if I could talk to my prior self, give my sister less shit about it. So.
Oh, so you gave your sister shit?
No, I said I gave my sister shit. Well, that's the thing, that everyone all the cousins and sisters and everything, they all dated white guys. And I'm like, you can't date one man of color, not one brown guy at all. And the funny thing is too,
did anybody give you? Well, I guess your mom did.
Yeah, my mom gave me shit. Well, they gave me shit because I gave them shit. So that's what it was.
So thank you,
it brought it back. Yeah, but it was never past like being serious. It was always like just talking shit. Like that's all.
But I think that that's interesting. That's the way in which you want to talk shit.
But no. But it's the case where like even that shouldn't necessarily be even said. Like, because that still could make them feel bad. And you wouldn't want them to feel disappointed. Like you were saying, you don't want them to feel disappointed. So like ultimately we all give shit. Well, I would talk shit or like whatever else, but ultimately we knew like, okay, he's a good guy, but we're just gonna like bust his balls. But like you could just kind of skip that step and just kind of be happy for that person. But yeah, that's what it was. And then yeah, I got my fair share of shit back at me.
Only because it was retaliatory, because who initiated it?
My mother. That's who initiated it.